Unique Bodyguard BTS fanfic. Introduction.
Taehyung shifted in his black leather chair to look over the city of Seoul. Its beautiful lights glistened aimlessly across the city. He truly loved living in the big city where he could watch the world go on with their life. Not that he would care much for others and how they do things. As long as he can get his stuff done with no distractions and problems, then he will not make a fuss. He lets out a sigh, closing his eyes and slouching back in his comfy leather chair. He's been working for hours, signing paperwork after paperwork his clients brought in. Thinking he will get all the time to finish his work in peace was truly impossible, because knock after knock at his office door kept disrupting his train of thought. Occasionally he would lash out at a few of his clients for being rude and loud even though he needed that particular paperwork. Being a billionaire is exhausting. Taehyung thought as he started to tap his foot and click the tip of his tongue impatiently. The sound of silence falls back into the room, making Taehyung abruptly get up from his chair and slam his hands on the desk in frustration. He can't be cooped up in this office of his no longer. "I'm done here," he mutters underneath his breath to no one in particular as he turns to switch off his fancy expensive desk lamp he bought a while back. The room was still brightly lit by the city lights that shine through the big glass window that extended up towards the ceiling. He picks up his blood-red-looking suit jacket off the back of the leather chair before slipping it on with ease and adjusting it a bit. He owned many pairs of suit jackets in many different colors, designs, and textures, and for some reason, the deep red one was one of his favorites. I guess you could say it just complimented him and his looks, enhancing more of his beauty. Taehyung grabs his briefcase, opens it up and sets it on top of the desk, placing all the scattered pieces of paperwork inside. Once satisfied with his now clean desk with no loose papers in sight, he shuts the briefcase and turns on the balls of his feet, heading towards the office door. His hand was on the door handle before the loud ringing of his work phone blares at him, making him curse under his breath. Staggering back over to his desk, he set down his briefcase on the chair before reluctantly picking up the phone in anger. He was so close to leaving his damn office to go back home and sleep in a king-sized bed with fluffy blankets and pillows that cost a fortune. What? Taehyung seethed angrily and annoyed at whoever would call this late. He made a mental note that it was almost 1 in the morning. Had he been here working and suffering for that goddamn long? That's ridiculous. A dark raspy voice snaps Taehyung out of his thoughts, almost making Taehyung drop the phone from being startled.
"You and those friends of yours have something of mine, Mr. Kim, and I suggest you hand it over before things get quite bloody."
"Excuse me? Who the fuck is this?" Taehyung demanded in question. What exactly do he and his friends have? Money? Fame? Is this guy threatening a billionaire right now?
"I said and did my part, Mr. Kim. I expect you and your friends to do the same. I'm watching your every move, so watch your backs,"
the man says in an almost death warning tone before the call goes dead, leaving Taehyung speechless. What the hell? He looks down at the phone in his hand, still lingering in thought. "I'm watching you." Taehyung then slams the phone back down, standing up with haste and looking around frantically for anyone else that would be looking at him. Now that he thought about it, he was the only one in the building, and his building contains max security, so even if anyone tried and dared to break into the building, Taehyung would know of it. It was probably just a prank call, Taehyung said to himself for reassurance. No one would have the guts to threaten him, let alone his friends, right? Taehyung grabs his suitcase, running a hand through his faded silver hair to keep himself calm. It was just a prank call, Taehyung says, convincing himself. Besides, almost everyone that lived here hated him and his friends, so a prank call would be understandable. Once Taehyung finds out who dared to joke around like this, he would make their lives a living hell. Why not be hated more as it is?